What is up? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful day. Back here with some more Resident Evil content for you. And today we're going to be talking about the little introduction cinematic live action video they released of Resident Evil Requiem, where they basically had a 3-minute live action skit of basically trying to advertise the game, where it had a story of a mother and her daughter going through the Raccoon City incident and the tragedy that bestowed it, as well as some other things rinsed in, some Easter eggs and whatnot. And it's led a lot of people to believe that this was so good and well done, this is better than all the other live-action Resident Evil movies put together combined, and leading people to think that, yes, it is possible that we can actually have a really good live adaptation in terms of a movie of Resident Evil. However, I'm here to deliver my hot take of the day, where it's basically saying that I believe it's the exact opposite. I think this 3-minute little skit here is more pressing reason why I don't think we will ever get a really good live-action Resident Evil movie, or at least something decent. Maybe decent, but at least not for me, because I can only speak for myself, and that's something I want to make very clear here. I can't speak for everyone else, and everyone else has different tastes and whatnot, and what they go about, what they like, what they don't like. I want to make that very clear here, because I acknowledge there are things I don't particularly care for that might not be bad. They just don't pertain to me, or they just don't, kind of tickle my fancy. And there's things that I do like that I know probably aren't inherently good, but, I guess you can call them guilty pleasures, etc. And I've never been a big fan of Resident Evil in live action. To be fair, I'm not a big fan of a lot of things, especially video game side live action. But particular Resident Evil, I'm definitely not a fan. I'll say this right now. I've made this claim multiple times when I talk about Resident Evil in live action movies. Of all the live action movies combined together, I have probably seen no more than 10 minutes of them all combined together. I mean, that's how little and no desire I have to see them. I really don't. But I will say this right now, the movie they're going to release later this year, I will do it just for you guys so I can suffer through it. And who knows, maybe they'll surprise me and catch me off guard, but I'm not going to be betting the farm on it. But why do I feel this way? And why is it this 3-minute skit that everyone seems to be praising makes me more apparent that I don't think it can ever succeed, at least for me personally. So here's the thing. I said before I don't like live action Resident Evil. I'm very anal about that. Because this whole 3-minute skit, there's nothing inherently wrong about it. It's very reminiscent of that little opening cinematic they had when they were advertising Dead Island, the first one back in the day. It has a lot of vibes like that, just really well done. So what's the problem when it pertains to me, and why I'm just like, every time I hear anything but live action Resident Evil, even after we saw this little thing done, basically go, yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this. And just in case you are wondering, yeah, I will force myself to watch the live action Resident Evil movie whenever it releases later on this year. I will do it for you guys, but I'm definitely not looking forward to it. So let's go back to the 3-minute skit. And as I said, it was well done for what it is, but here's the difference. That was a 3-minute skit. There's a difference between doing something for 3 minutes, doing something for a little short film, and doing something for a whole 2-hour movie, or however long it will be. And the problem is this. I'm a gamer first. Alright, I want to play video games more than I want to watch movies. I do like movies, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against movies. But when it comes to particular Resident Evil, so let me tell you something right now. I do not want to watch Resident Evil. I want to play Resident Evil. I want the experience of having that controller in my hand and trying to survive. Because one thing about Resident Evil, I'll say this right now, it has one of the most addictive gameplay loop cycles in any video game. It's why it's one of my all-time favorite franchises, is the gameplay. It's one of the reasons why I think so many people come back for more so many times. It has such huge replayability. I mean, it's not a game where I beat it one time and I'm done. It's a game where I come back multiple times. I always joke about it with Resident Evil 4, my all-time favorite video game. If I start from the beginning and I start playing it, I kind of got to talk myself to stop, because if I keep going, one chapter will become 2, and then 2 will be 3, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, well, I started now, I might as well finish it. I won't stop playing until I beat the thing. It'll just be like I'm doing it for the umpteenth time at this point in my life. But it has this really addicting gameplay cycle. And that cycle can't be translated in terms of watching a movie, because I'm watching it, I'm not actually playing it, I'm not actually experiencing it. And Resident Evil was one of those games for me personally. I'll say this right now, so I'll say it's a personal thing for me. I hate watching other people play. Nothing against them. It's not about their gameplay, their skills. It has nothing to do with it, because I don't have any good gameplay or skills. That's not my point. I just want to play it myself. It's something I want to experience myself. See, whenever we have a brand new Resident Evil game about to release, they'll show a bunch of gameplay and stuff like that. If they have like the cutscenes and all, that's fine. They kind of mix it in with a little bit trailer. But when they have those things, we have a whole 10-minute gameplay cycle clip or a 20-minute game, I get so annoyed by that. Not just in Resident Evil, but kind of any game. Because I'm just like, at that point, I already know I'm invested enough. I'm going to buy it anyway. I don't need to see all this stuff because I just want to play it myself. Because that experience of watching it and actually having a control in your hand and playing it, that's something that'll never come close in terms of the movie, no matter how good the movie is. It'll always be a lesser version of the other thing that I want. If you still can't understand what I'm saying, now put it in terms like this. We argue all the times about, what's better, the originals or the remakes. Well, at least that's kind of a fair fight, because it'll be like if you're arguing here, okay, which way do you want to play Resident Evil? And you have 3 ways you can play it, and they're all on the VR. You can play on the Oculus, you can play on the PSVR, or you can play on the Virtual Boy. Don't know what Virtual Boy is? Well, let's just say you weren't missing much, because that thing, it's just a miggly of just like, what in the name of all this decent world were they thinking of? But nobody's going to be doing that. That's kind of how the live action Resident Evil movies are to me. And it's not even a question, are they going to adapt, an existing Resident Evil storyline or brand new characters? So some people are making an argument. If they do original characters, that can be a lot more fearful, tense moment. Yeah, but it's not going to be Resident Evil to me. It's just watching another zombie survival thing or whatever creatures after them and stuff. Like, we've seen that a bunch of times. They can't replicate the addicting gameplay cycle that you have in the movies. They can adapt elements of it, like, the whole fear, the atmosphere, a little bit of the humor and stuff, the cheesy moments, the action hero moments, pure survival horror moments. But getting that core gameplay into a movie, if you can do that, then I guess you'll prove me wrong. But I don't know how you're going to do that. Like, honestly, I have no idea. Like, I don't know how they could ever possibly do that, because I just don't see it happening, no matter who is directing. I know the person directing this latest movie, a lot of people have a lot of faith in him, but just for the sake of argument, we could have the greatest movie director of all time, and I still don't know if they'll be able to adapt that addicting gameplay cycle that makes every Resident Evil game, whether it's from the originals, the over-the-shoulder era, or the remake era, or whatever the case may be, whatever era of Resident Evil you pick. That whole addicting cycle, that endless loop that keeps coming back and back and back. I don't know if we'll ever get to that, and that's the main point I want to make here. And that's why, personally, to me, I don't know if I'll ever be excited or really enjoy a live-action Resident Evil movie, no matter what they go about it, how they go about doing it, because I don't know how you can emulate that. So hopefully I made my points clear, and basically saying that at the end of the day, Resident Evil has always been a game I want to play, not a movie I want to watch. But that's only my opinion. I want to hear your guys' opinion. How did this whole 3-minute skit make you feel? Do you think it was a great way to advertise Resident Evil Requiem, what we're going to see in the game? Did it give you more hope that we could actually do a really good live-action Resident Evil movie one day? Or are you more closer to me, where it's just like, I'm sick and tired of seeing them attempt it. It's getting old now, and I'd rather them just waste their time doing more video games for Resident Evil. But that's going to be it. Hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully I see you guys back in the next one. Thanks, and I'll see you all later. Peace.